All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. It's happy to be here today. We are Emmett and Fitzgerald. This is our proposal for the Hyatt Regency Hotel in the beautiful city of Salt Lake City. All right. To get things started, I want to introduce myself. I'm Charles Branch. I'm the project executive here. I've been in the company for 17 years.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carter Alexander. I'm the project manager for Edmund Fitz. I've been in the industry for about 15 years now.
Good morning. My name is Nolan Stevenson. I'm the senior estimator here at Edmund Fitz, and I've been with the company for about 13 years.
Good morning. My name is Carter Bourne. I am the superintendent, and I have been with Edmund and Fitz for about 12 years.
Yes, so going into some of our previous projects, we've had experience in doing the high-rise hospitality jobs. The most recent one was in downtown Austin, Texas. It was the Aloft and Element Hotel that was worth about $70 million. We delivered that project on time and under budget, and we also worked in downtown Indianapolis for the JW Marriott Hotel that was about $425 million. That was also on time and under budget. We believe that our experience can show that we have the bandwidth to deliver this project on time and under budget as we have shown before.
All right, so this hotel stands at 25 stories tall at about 686 square footage. Those 25 stories don't include a basement parking garage. There are 700 guest rooms within this hotel, and there's about 60 square footage of meeting space. Some challenges that we faced throughout this process was working closely within the Salt Lake Convention Center. We know that there's working hours going on there, so we wanted to work closely with our client, especially with our rigging devices with tower cranes flying over. This is an OFCI building, so we had separate contractor interfaces, had to be sequenced cleanly. And lastly, we had lots of cast-in-place concrete within the building, structural steel to build up this bad boy, and then major MEP equipment lifting up on our terrace. And then, obviously, as everyone understands, we have a crazy curtain wall wrapping around our beautiful building. Our mission statement at Edmund Fitz is build better every time. We want to go after an aggressive schedule and procure long procurement, and as well site control from our safety manager. Our number one key is treat public protection, envelope quality, and interfaces as management. Why Edmund and Fitz? Edmund Fitz has been around for about 60 years now. We're a 14% MWD VBE company. We're number one in pedestrian safety priority, like I said before. And this relates back to our previous projects, like the JW Marriott and the Aloft, like Charlie hinted at before. And every project starts off with a PM, superintendent, VDC, and a safety manager from day one.
Yes, let's go into the cost of this project here. Our entire base bid was $364 million, roughly. We believe that the majority of the costs go in the interior construction of it, being that there's a luxury lobby that we want to, take priority in. There's also a whole bunch of guest rooms that we want to deliver on time with a whole bunch of quality and to, give you the best product as possible. Following our previous projects, the MEP is obviously important, but the exterior enclosure as well as the superstructure we want to prioritize as well. We have an ad alternate of $3.1 million for OFCI and FF&E install, and he's also requested a $5 million allowance for the low voltage and telecom systems.
All right, so looking into the schedule that we built, we're going to aggressively start in June 22nd of 2026, and construction for the main hotel will go all the way until March 2029. And then after that date of March 2029, we will move into the building of the restaurant. And so, looking at our next slide, we have this project will involve a complete build out of the Hyatt Regency. And our most substantial milestones are stated as mobilization, floors B through 19, and full completion of the building. And so safety and efficiency are our top priorities here at Edmund Fitz, so our schedule is built to cater to those two items. Weekly progress updates and daily foreman meetings will take place to make sure there's no bottlenecking in between the building's floor-to-floor type of style. And so, especially for guest rooms 7 through 19, we're using the floor-to-floor type of construction where MEP is installed and closely behind FF&E, and then closely behind that commissioning will occur. And this streamlined approach helps accelerate completion within a good time frame.
Yeah, so to get this proposal together, we kind of had a bit of a misunderstanding exactly how the RCAS piles will be installed. So we created our own 3D model, laying out every single one of the RCAS piles on site. As you can see, majority of them are on the hotel side. There's also some on the parking garage side as well. So our plan is, once we get to the deepest excavation, we're going to have a shoring system of lagging throughout the perimeter of the job, so where it can safely operate, drill, and pour to safely and effectively pour every single RCAS pile on time. And we're going to work from the hotel side, moving to the convention center in a timely manner. As you can tell, we also prepared the columns as well as the concrete in the parking garage, and also the mat slab that goes in the hotel side. You can see that we also have the first floor deck with the ramp that goes down, and columns that go underneath. Additionally, with the columns that keep on going up and up and up, and so on and so forth from there. Giving this the understanding of exactly how we want to build it, so we can build it on time and give you the best product as possible, helps not only us, but you as well understand exactly what's going on our job site. So here at Eminent Fits, we take the client's happiness as a priority, as obviously, to save them as much time as possible and money. We believe there's a good value engineering option in prefabrication of the bathroom stalls and units. We believe that could save you about 20-25% faster interior build outs, as well as saving you about 6 to 8 weeks of the overall project schedule. Obviously, with prefabrication, there's going to be a high upfront premium, about 3 to 5%. But you're going to be saving that with the labor savings and about 5% or 5 to 8% actually overall. So you're going to be saving money and also time on the project, and you could get even a better product at the end of the day. So,
Due to the tight job site, our main safety risk, or our top safety risk, is pedestrian safety and public safety. So we will maintain safety through proactive planning and monitoring, and also weekly safety meetings, and making sure we communicate any safety information to the public as well as the Eminent Fits staff. We will provide pedestrian protection with barricades, road closures, clear signage, and temporary overhead protection to ensure safe foot traffic for the entirety of the project. We will enhance site safety with debris barriers as we build vertical, and traffic control and regular inspections to address any hazards. Also, below is the QR code for the on-site safety board that will be posted all throughout the job site for the entire duration of construction. We want to thank you guys for taking the time and kind of considering us for this proposal. I think that you guys should choose Eminent Fits because we have a strong focus on safety, consistent, high quality delivery, and efficient schedules. We are also very client focused, and we look forward to working with you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. I do have a question. It looked like in your schedule, you said that the levels 20 through 25 were not going to be done until October of 29. The All-Star game is in February of 29. So do you guys have budgeted the consequential damages to last about 8 months at $200,000 a day to miss our date there?
yeah, actually, that's our mistake. We do plan on actually completing the project prior to the All-Star break. That's a misprint on our schedule. In the actual proposal, we do have that on time. So forgive us for doing the slide. That's not our fault. But
Can you describe the biggest challenge you see on our project and what you're going to do to mitigate it?
yeah, that's a great question. We believe that the glazing itself could be quite the issue, of getting all of the glazing sequenced on time and delivered on the same time as well. We're going to be delivering on an on-time delivery schedule. In our proposal, we have an entire sequence schedule, as long as you can see our path and what we're going to be doing in a timely manner, with the leave out dates, also exactly where we start and finishing. there could be issues with the actual install, with weather. There could be potentially, um, you know, mishaps from the fabricator. But we believe that if we plan it properly, we get it done on time and in a timely manner. So
Yeah, I can handle another challenge as well. With it being an acre and a half, this lot, our logistics plan was tough for our laydown areas. So we decided with our road closures and our security on the roads, we decided to have laydowns on different empty parking lots nearby the area. So that was another challenge as well with it being such a small lot.
So you mentioned prefabricating the bathroom pods. What have you done to ensure that the city of Salt Lake will allow this from a permitting standpoint?
Uh, you know, we've talked with previous Salt Lake City hotels that have prefabrication, and there's also a cycle hospital in Utah that also has prefabrication stalls as well. So it's not new to Utah at all, but we've done it in prefabrication jobs in Michigan as well. We've done a hospital. We feel that we can get it done efficiently and have a high quality of consistently. So you know, Utah itself, we have to propose it, obviously have an entire new change order, but I think so far they'll be okay with it.
I had a question over here. So you mentioned that you were the number one company when it comes to public safety. So how do you measure that? And can you give some examples of how you got to number one?
Yep, I can answer this one. We look ourselves as number one because of the amount of safety managers we have on site and the amount that we take care of it. So each morning we'll have a daily huddle with other safety with our subcontractors, and our safety manager will be involved in that, and we'll have a part of that. And then every Friday we'll have a safety meeting with all the contractors, safety reps on site. So every Friday we'll meet up and go over what we're looking for and how to keep the site clean as possible. And we also keep our housekeeping to a key. That's what we think that why we're number one.
I have a follow-up question on that. So your org chart shows that the safety manager is mostly involved in the pre-construction and only 10% during construction. Can you please explain the reasoning behind that?
Yeah. So, Edmond and Fitz, they have a lot of jobs going on in the country right now. And, being that we want to prioritize safety, we also have all of our members of staff have a OSHA 30 staff as well. So although safety manager title means that they do safety priority, everybody on staff here can do safety as well. We can file incident reports, AHAs, etc. So we believe that even though we don't have a full-time on-site safety manager, all of our people on staff can do that as well.
In your proposal, we did not see anything about your EMR. So can you tell me what your EMR is?
Um, I guess our proposal isn't necessarily EMR focused, but I think it's about 4%. I could get back to you with that. Give me about an hour, and I'd love to give you a real answer.
In your general conditions from the first step, you're carrying 30.4 months for staffing for your project team, but you give us a duration of 36 months. And then when you submitted your step 2 for the proposal, you jumped your staffing durations up to 43 months. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So in step 2, we believe that it does take 43 months as a total, and we want as much staffing as possible to deliver this on time as well. In the first proposal, we just kind of give it more of a blanket idea of who can actually be on site. Day to day, it's not we're going to have the exact same site overhead, but kind of give it more of a general idea that our safety manager, our project manager, or a QAQC will be on site at that time. Doesn't mean it's that exact same person, but over the course of this project, about 34 months is pretty much an average of who's going to be on site.
So are you planning to bait and switch your staff from who you've listed in the proposal and who'll end up building the building?
Not entirely, but we have had that happen in previous projects. Obviously, myself will be on it for the entirety, and our safety manager will be there, just about 10%. So if you average that out in a long-term project, about 34 months is, roughly the answer.
Got a question over here on this side. Quality control wise, what do you see as your biggest challenge or concern on this project, quality control wise?
I mean, we hinted at it before. It's definitely our public safety, with it being right on the street here in a small lot. That's why we're doing temporary fencing, barricading around the area, tarping all above areas, so no falling equipment, tools. Yeah. So, can you repeat that question one more time? I apologize.
Yeah, I was looking for more of quality control instead of safety as far as your biggest challenges or concerns.
Okay. Yeah. We could talk about it. So we talked about glazing previously. But in our mock-ups for all the glazing, we put that all of us on contractors to require mock-ups for every single piece of glazing item to put the hurricane tests or make sure that's watertight. But in our proposal in QA/QC, we have an L1 through L4 system that certifies that it's the correct make and model for whatever piece of equipment it is. That it is L2 would be installed properly, L3 would be tested, and L4 would be trained, and also the O&M manuals. This certifies that the actual material or whatever equipment it is does not get overlooked at any stage, so that the actual owners can know exactly if it's properly installed or it's been started up or it's been commissioned properly. And going off of that, with our delivered items, such as our mechanical units, our rooftop units, when they're on site, they will be fully checked for any dings, dents, and they will be marked off and they will be sent back if there's any.
So glazing obviously is a big deal, right? The whole front of this building's glass, but I'm really more concerned about how you're going to get power to this thing. So the state of Utah anticipates 15 to 18 new data centers in the 26 to 29 time frame. And really beyond the just coined, we're going to work with our vendors and subcontractors. What's your actual plan to make sure that you can deliver switchgear and power to this building on time? Because it's going to look really cool with all that glass, but if we can't turn it on, we can't occupy it.
Yeah.
Um,
Question.
So, great question. So, basically, our long lead time items, those are planned out for months ahead. And to ensure that all power can be energized to the building, those will be delivered on time. That's the assurance. And installation will occur at the time needed. So,
Following up on that question, you showed a project in Austin and a project in Indianapolis. Nolan, can you explain a little bit how you're going to select trade partners without a lot of experience in Utah? Are you looking to rely on the local Utah trades, or you bring in trades from across the country?
So we've worked all over the U.S., as you can see, and we've built a lot of good relationships with a lot of different subcontractors. So I think a good mix of local and outside subcontractors coming together to work for this project will be very beneficial.
Can you explain right here how you handle a subcontractor that's either underperforming or not performing, particularly schedule wise, and provide an example of how you handled that on a past project?
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously with daily foreman's meetings, we communicate with each subcontractor their schedules and exactly what they're doing that day. We are keeping track of exactly their percentage of work they do in a timely manner. But one thing that we do in previous projects, like we did a wastewater treatment plant a couple years ago, that when a subcontractor, say, was falling behind on like either underground piping or conduit or whatever it was, we would give them a day-to-day handout of exactly what percentage we believe they have had done. And then we also request that they give their percentage of what they have done. And then we give them a timeline until the notice to cure note will be sent if they don't hit the percentage that we have in, say, 3 weeks from them. And if they don't, notice to cure will happen, and then it does get contractual, but we try to avoid that as much as possible with giving them notice weeks or months ahead of time.
Just to follow up, Carter, do you have anything to add to that for a field level, as not at an executive level, but boots on the ground?
Yep. So day to day, people fall behind. That's pretty natural. But yeah, our policy is to give them a checklist, try to get them on track. And if they're underperforming, bring in the next guy.
And I'll pick off that a little bit. I mentioned earlier, we'll have every morning, we'll have a meeting with all of our subcontractors. During that meeting, we will have a live presentation of just a quick day-to-day schedule, where everyone's at and what tasks they're up to.
And if they're behind, we're gonna need to ask them to bring in more manpower.
So I had a question regarding, sorry, over here. Question regarding your self-performing scope. It looks like you have an established structural steel company, which is great. But what are you doing to ensure that the cost is competitive from a self-perform standpoint?
So, I mean, to mitigate any, foreign tariffs or anything like that, our steel is domestic. And believe it or not, the actual owner of the steel company is my brother-in-law. So we have a lot of close connections of the ties to that company. Any of the pricing will be consistent. And we also make sure that we have the most quality and high level steel connections as possible. So if we fall behind, I got a phone call and speed dial to call them. So make sure that we got that.
I have a question under GCs. Your temp water is tied, I guess, via a well. When I looked at your site U plan, I did not see where you guys are going to locate that well. Can you tell me where that well will be located? And then do you have any permitting concerns with that well?
Yeah. I mean, obviously permitting concerns are huge for drilling for any type of water supply. But right near the muster point towards the water or to the road there, that's where we plan on drilling. So during the deep excavation, none of the drilling will happen or impact any of the actual project schedule. It's out of the way, and we can pull that without disrupting any of the excavation or the RCAS piles or any of the shoring protection. We will work south and north to not disinvade the Salt Lake Convention Center or the Marriott.
I have a follow up to that. If you're going to be drilling next to the muster point, is there any concern if you have a emergency that occurs and you're drilling a hole next to where everybody's supposed to locate? Is there any concern there? How you'd handle that?
Yeah. Want to talk about that, Carter?
Yeah. So our muster point is located on the southwest corner of the site. So we always can move it over a little bit if there were to be a concern, like with like a hazard or anything. But yeah, that drilling kind of by the muster area is not typically our concern. But that's a good question. Thank you.
You got a question up here in the front. Your schedule does not reflect any weather days currently. Just talk us through how you are going to take into account a weather day if and when it does come up. Is that a day that you're looking to extend the schedule or make up?
So throughout the schedule, I built in a few cushion days between a lot of the longer lead time or longer items. So for steel installation, I have a couple of cushion days at the end of that or at the beginning of that. And there's some slack time throughout the project in case there are any weather delays or even any safety delays or hazards or anything like that. We have provided a good amount of flexibility while still maintaining a streamlined schedule. So.
Over here, Nolan, got a question. Our cost consultants are using Edify, and I noticed you guys took a different path. What led you guys down that road?
So instead of using Edify, we used
OST.
OST. Okay. We use OST just because it kind of works with us more. And we have a lot of subcontractors and a lot of clients that we've worked with. They've always preferred that over Edify, which you as an Edify man yourself, I know. So, yeah, we just decided to go with OST. Just we feel like it's more streamlined and works better with type of clientele.
All right, I've got a real important question. I see Michigan State's favored by 15.5. How confident are you that they will cover that?
Not as confident as we are with building this project on time and efficiently, but we're gonna win. I'd hit the line, but I'm in Utah, so I can't.
No chance, and we have time for one more question.
I have a real quick one. The Edmund Fitzgerald, is your name tied to that in any way, shape, or form?
There's a lot of misconceptions exactly where our team name come from, but our original founders of Lewis Fitzgerald and Edmund, and Harry Edmund, it had no relation to the terrible tragedy of Lake Superior where 29 men died. But our founders happen to have the same name from that terrible shipwreck, but
I thought the safety guy was going to ask that, but
yeah.
All right, that's time. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you guys for your time here.